When I was a younger gentleman back in my day, my teens to 20s, 30s, even my 40s, what most men fail to realize is that your breakups are actually your biggest blessings in disguise. Let me say that again. Your breakups should be considered your blessing in disguise. And sometimes I think it's exactly what you need to set you straight in your life and get you straight focused into self improvement and a path to and bettering your life through self improvement. I firmly believe that after 49 years of existence, now nearly 50 years old on this planet, that these things, your heartbreaks and your breakups, continue to teach you a lesson is because you don't want to learn that lesson and you keep repeating the cycles over and over again until you make a change. On paper, this sounds like insanity, right? Expecting a different result. And it's true. This is insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again, but expecting a different result. The chick could be different. The chick could be hotter as hell, right? She could be your 8, your 9, your dime piece, even. But the mistakes you keep incurring and the choices you are making leads you to nothing but heartache and letdowns and the betrayals and the cheating and so forth, right? Being disrespected is because you haven't arrived here. Your actions are not congruent with your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is something that will supersede. It's your spirit telling you otherwise. A lot of times when we as men are making our choices and decisions, there's another voice in the back of our head, and that's essentially your spirit. That's your guide. And we tend to ignore that voice our entire lives. And this includes the red flags because we're so enamored by her looks, the exoticness in her seductive and deceptive nature. So the looks essentially are deceptive, right? Still water runs deep, and we're always fixated on the appearance, which is, my brothers, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolute truth in all of that. It's magical, it's addictive, it's hypnotic. And the way I learned over time is how to overlook some of these features and characteristics that I'm falling in love over and over again in getting myself into hot water, hot soup, heartbreaks, affairs, stepping out on each other, vice versa, right? Mostly it's her. Is you have to get past the visuals as a man. I know it's hard to do, especially if you're a younger guy. It's hard to do to get past the optics of beauty, right? We as men tend to idolize, and romanticize her very much. So much to the point is that we overly commit, we get way ahead of ourselves, we tend to use the word love. We are the first ones to say I love you. Oh yeah, don't tell me you haven't. I've been there. I've done it. I said I never would, but I've done it. Right, we are ready to throw away our commitment, commit to this crazy girl. All we know is that she looks good, and we haven't peeled the layers behind her personality, her depth, right? There's no conflict, there's no arguments, there's no friction. Everything is based on the feels, right? So now you've taken on her characteristics of it feels good. Now you're in your feelings, right? And so you make these sporadic decisions that are based on passion, which is fine, right? The energy, the vibe, right? It's all passion, fire, hot and heavy, right? Guys, I get it, man. This is biology taking its course as a young man. Your pheromones, your testosterone, estrogen, right? Especially if she's feminine, right? It's a home run. It's the home run derby. And so I'm saying all this is because if you don't learn to overlook all of these things, right? Her beauty, her looks, and just base everything on just the superficial, sooner or later, and maybe sooner, this all comes back to bite you behind your backside. We spend so much of our lives idolizing and romanticizing something she is not. And she spends a lot of her time trying to sell you exactly what you give her. And that's pretty powerful if you tune into what I said. She is living up to your expectations on surface. And she'll ride that wave as long as she can because you are giving her the resources. You're pouring into her ego, right? The feel good. Everything is feeling good. But you're not doing the inner work, the deeper work of really getting to know who this girl is opposite you. And this is why we're met with disappointments, stepping out on you. She starts to disrespect you. When you commit too early and too prematurely, 80-90% of the time, she doesn't even want the relationship. She never asked, you gave it. She never asked, you gave it. She never claimed you as her boyfriend. She wants to keep it casual. She never said, this is a relationship. You are the one that jumped to it and gave it the relationship. You were the one that claimed her. And she's going to go along for the ride. You could have a discussion with her and tell her what's on your mind, but you haven't heard the reciprocation, have you? And guys, I have been there on the other side. What happens is when you become that guy and you just put all your chips onto that table, you have just, in her eyes, you have become the biggest imp with the S in front of it. And she's gonna lose respect for you quickly. Like, I'm not even joking. You're gonna look like a clown, dude, and she'll never tell you. She won't even know this herself. It's her nature is going to be innately wired towards pulling away. Because she doesn't want the commitment, bro. You were very premature with it. And in 2025, in the times that we're in today, nobody wants the commitment. Nobody wants to be in a committed situationship. And you have to observe the trends. You have to listen to your intuition. This is what makes breaking up a lot more simpler. It's not easy. It's simpler if you accept them for who they are. You have to match their energy. You have to let them follow your lead. If she doesn't text you back the same day, remain calm. Do not double text. I talk about this as well. We're double texting. We're overly available. We make ourselves too accessible when we go all in on her prematurely. If she wants to be exclusive, it's got to come from her, bro. They're wired to look for the relationship. They are wired to push towards the relationship and asking you for the commitment. If she wants to be locked down, bro, she will tell you that. She will give you signs. And if you don't see that, just ride the wave. Ride the wave. To me, that's translation for let's keep it casual and let's just continue having fun. Which means that it's easy for you. You can hold back. You don't owe her any answers. She's not your wife. You don't owe her a commitment. You can see other people. Because if you're not doing it, she's doing it. And she's not going to tell you about it. You can be upset. You can cry about it. You can write about it. You can post about it. It's not going to change the fact that she is who she is. And it's not her fault. It's your expectations. It's a misunderstanding, bro. It's a miscommunication. your expectations. You need to rewire your brain. You need to rewire your brain. And I had to do this for myself. This is why it's not a matter of if, it's when she breaks your heart. There's two ways you can go about this. Is you look at this as a heartbreak, pine over it, wonder what went wrong, right? Beat yourself up and tell yourself that you're a horrible guy, or none of it is true, by the way. Or you remove your feelings out of it and observe the situation. And this is not the first time you're probably making this mistake. And try to assess that situation and see the similarities versus your past relationships. And you'll figure out that you're deep in the trenches and you need to rewire yourself. And some of this probably goes back to childhood, of that neediness, of not getting your own needs met. Which is why you stop essentially loving yourself and respecting yourself and started being codependent and started loving someone so much more than yourself, that you have compromised your own soul and your position and put yourself and your needs secondary and tertiary, second, third positions. You should always be in first position, my boy. Always be in first position as a man. You don't ever want her to feel that she's your number one. She's on the pedestal. That you are prioritizing her, because she's going to think there's nothing else going on in your life because you have really given her that energy. And that's very powerful. If she can feel that she is all you have, that's not a good place for you to be, bro. See, on the flip side, you got to look at it this way. You have to be ready for her to walk away. And she will. And a lot of times this happens when things are going really, really well in your life, in your relationship. You've taken her to this work event. You've introduced her to your good people, your family, your friends. You know, you are high on her. You're seeing a wedding story unveil in your dreams. You have these wedding bells and the fantasy, the story you've been telling yourself is catching fire, catching wind, and just glowing, right? But it's one-sided, man. You're not checking to see how she's feeling. You're not checking to see where she's at mentally. But in your head, you're telling all these stories to yourself is because you've invested in her so much. The time, the money, the months, the year, the 2 years, 3 years. And let's just take that and that relationship and just keep redoing. You meet another girl, it's the same do-over, the same pattern. The same pattern. My gimbal is acting up, guys. I'm still waiting for my new arrival. So bear with me as I keep adjusting the arm here, which is really annoying. But you keep adjusting with the new girl. The good news is you are landing the chicks. You're getting the girls, which is a great problem to have. That's where I find myself. I've definitely adjusted and pivoted in my life in the dating game. Some might say, the haters might say you're old, sure. By your standards, yeah. Today's standards, sure. But I am still in the young man's market game, in the young man's dating sphere, right? I'm dating girls in their 20s, early 30s. And it can be serious, but I've just learned better is that keep these things casual, let them ask and pressure me for a relationship. What's surprising is that none of them want a relationship. It baffles me that I actually wouldn't mind a relationship. It baffles me. It baffles me as a man, right? But that's considered feminine energy. So I still don't think it's feminine energy. I think it's a desire. I'm just a good dude. But I don't also want to say that I'm just born in the wrong generation. I am not born in the wrong generation. I am from a different generation in Gen X. During my time, this was normal. Romanticizing The traditional values, it's beautiful, man. But the modern times don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Although I'm seeing that the Gen Z girls, they're onto something. And despite it could be a form of gaslighting, and they're jumping on the non-feminism movement here. If you haven't noticed, there's a trend against that movement. And Gen Z women are out there in the marketplace saying that we were lied to, that feminism was a lie. And you got to check those videos out. But they seem like they're cracking the whip on traditional values. And I don't know how much this is genuine or not, but it's making a comeback. But I don't want to participate in it. I think it's too late for me personally. And maybe, and just maybe, I love my peace and quiet. I love making my mistakes and learning from it and just keeping to myself. And I love dating, not necessarily with the intentions they are, because you'll never know their intentions. It's all over the place. They don't even know what they want. I just know that most of these girls would like to keep things as casual can be. They don't have any desire for their commitment, the love stories. In fact, it repels them. And the more you give them everything they think they want, the more repulsed they are, and they run to another man. They run right into their arms. Then this is not a secret, guys. This is very much a real-time problem. Like if you care too much, you're a weirdo. If you don't care, you're an a-hole, right? If you don't show any interest, you're a with the G in front of it. The shaming never ends, right? And then if you don't want anything to do with them, you're a misogynist, right? Misogynist. I mean, both of these terminologies, hatred for men, hatred for women, right? But people don't know the actual definition and throw these words around very loosely. And just to make it clear, I love women. I love them. And I still think that until today, both sexes, we need each other. We are powerful together. Expect breakups as part of the cycle. This is just part of the new norm. It's nothing new, at least for me. It's part of the cycle, you know? Reflect during these times. Your breakups can also mean divorce, which is a whole different beast because you got the law involved. I don't want to dive into that aspect, but I'm just talking about breakups in generality. Being in a boyfriend-girlfriend situationship, I'm okay with going our own ways afterwards. And yes, I feel all those things, like the loss and the time and the memories. And you got to delete the pictures, man. You got to delete all those videos, take it down, because it's a thing of the past. And the news flash for you, and it's not going to sound good to you guys, is that while you're ruminating on the past and yesterday, she was already long gone. Because it takes a man for a long, it takes us guys a longer time to recover from a breakup, because we're not necessarily monkey branching. We don't necessarily plan our next jump off. We don't do that as guys. Most guys don't do that, right? Girls, women are very different. They have someone lined up. They're never single and they're never in a relationship. And that's why when we break up, they've moved on so quickly, like nothing ever happened. While you are stuck. You are stuck in that moment, that present moment, until you learn as a young man, as an older man, life is going to continue teaching that lesson. Stop projecting, stop being needy, stop idolizing her, stop making her like the number one priority, man. Put yourself first. Have that conversation within. Prioritize self-improvement. Listen to your intuition. And watch your life improve, including your dating life. This day and age, I don't recommend dating seriously. Casually, maybe. But 2025 is not the year to mess around and be in a modern day relationship where there's nothing in it for a man. There's nothing in it. 80% of my life, I do most things alone. And every now and then when I need the companionship, There's a Rolodex. You have your options. Okay, my gimbal is acting up, so I'm going to call it here. Until the next video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Keep it light. Take care of yourselves. Okay? Mamba out.